guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the game Moonrakers. Now the object of this game is you're going to try to become the first player to score 10 prestige points. And the way you're going to be doing this is you're going to be mainly fulfilling contracts, trying to meet objectives, but you're also going to be doing a lot of negotiating with the other players in order to try to help complete the contracts. So let's take a look at it. Okay everybody, here we go. The object of this game is you're going to try to become the first player to get 10 prestige points, and there is a tracker there on this dispatch board over here with these ships, and you're just simply going to be moving up the track and trying to be the first player to get to 10. Now the main object of the game is you're going to be trying to complete or help people complete what are called these contracts. Anytime you complete these contracts, you're going to be getting rewards, depending on whether you're doing it by yourself or if you're asking your opponents to help you. If you're going to ask your opponents to help you, you've got these different rewards over here. This is prestige, this is going to be coins, and this is going to be cards that you will be able to draw. Now this one, this is going to give you bonus cards. So whoever wins the bonus cards will be able to draw either a card from the ship deck over here or the crew deck. And if they don't want it, they can simply discard it. Also, you have here what are called hazard dice, and somebody's going to be rolling these, and anytime one of these exclamation points shows up on the die, this is going to cause you to lose a prestige point. Now, these are going to be the requirements of the card in order to complete it, and I'll show you what these cards here in just a second. But in general, what you're going to be trying to do is complete one of these contracts when it is your turn. Everybody is going to be receiving what is called a ship board, and there are 4 spaces where you are going to be able to put what are called ship parts on there, and I'll show you a couple of them. What ship parts are going to do is they're going to increase your abilities to be able to help yourself or help your opponents be able to complete these different objectives over here. So here's one that says once per contract you may discard up to 3 cards and draw an equal number. Here's another one that says roll 1 less hazard die, and there are all sorts of different types of ship parts here in this deck. Now these cards do cost a little money, and there's going to be a cost right here. This one's going to cost 5 credits. This one's going to cost 6 credits. Right up here, you've got crew members that you're going to also be able to purchase, and these crew members are going to be added to your deck anytime you decide to purchase them. And again, they're going to have special abilities. In this one, this is going to allow you to play 3 actions. Requirement for reactor is 1 less, and the reactor is going to be one of the requirements to fulfill certain cards. And again, there's going to be a bunch of different types of crew members that you will be able to buy and choose from, and they're again going to be here in this deck. Now in the very beginning, everybody is going to be receiving a number of these cards, and here's what they are. All these cards are going to be used in some way to help try to complete these contracts, but they also have special abilities, some of them. Here's one that is a shield. If you end up playing this, this is going to block one of the hazard dice that you had to roll. The miss cards are nothing, they're junk. The reactor cards are going to allow you to take 2 extra actions. Now on your turn, you're going to be able to play 1 card, and your allies, if you have any, are also going to be able to play 1 card. But this card is going to allow you to play 2 more cards, which again you're going to need in order to try to complete these contracts. You also have damage. This one says 1 damage, but there are cards that have more damage on there. And there's also a purple over there on these cards, and these are going to represent the different crew members, so you're going to have to play a certain amount of crew members on some of these cards as well in order to complete the contract if you have them. Now, when you start off with this deck, you're going to be building this deck as in a deck building game, and anytime you end up buying cards or getting cards, you're going to put them here in the bottom of the deck, and then eventually this is going to make your deck stronger so you'll be able to do more things. Also in the game, you've got these really nice credits, and these are coins. And this one's worth 1 credit, this one's worth 3 credits. In the very beginning, everybody is going to start off with 2 credits. Also, you've got what are called objective cards. In the beginning, everybody's going to draw 3, but they're going to keep 2 of them. What these objective cards are going to help you do is they're going to help you to gain prestige points if something ends up happening. And if that ends up happening, you can play this card, and then you will go ahead and get the reward. So, for example, if you complete a delivery contract alone, which is a type of contract here in the card, if you end up doing that, you'll be able to play this card as well and get a prestige point. Here's another one that says fail a contract as an ally. Now whenever you end up playing a contract or trying to execute the contract, everybody is going to be doing what they can to help. However, whenever you're playing the game, you can't tell your opponent what kind of cards you have, and I'll talk a little bit about how that works. But in this case, you're actually going to purposely fail the contract in order to try to get this prestige point. Now there are 4 different types of contract cards here. You've got rescue, delivery, kill, and then exploration. And the main thing with this is there's going to be objective cards that will give you prestige points whenever you complete these types of cards. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so the way this works is there's going to be a player that is going to be the mission leader. What he's going to do is he's going to go ahead and look at the contracts over here, and he's going to pick one. And let's just say he decides he's going to go ahead and pick this one right over here. This is going to require 2 of these and then 1 of these, which is the shield, and then a hazard die roll. Now, if he wants, he can attempt to try to do the contract himself. In the very beginning, he's going to be drawing 5 cards in his hand, and let's just say he happens to have these cards right now. So he actually has everything that he needs in order to complete this contract. So let's just say he says, I'm going to go ahead and complete the contract by myself. So the first thing he's going to do is he's going to go ahead and roll a hazard die and see if he has any hazards. And in this case, he did not get any. Now, you're not going to be able to go below 0, so right now it's moot. But later on in the game, you can actually start losing prestige points because of these dice. So let's just say, in order to complete the contract, he says, okay, I'm going to play Reactor. This is going to give me 2 more actions, which technically will allow him to play 2 more cards. And he decides he's going to go ahead and play these 2 cards, like so. And this is going to go ahead and allow him to complete the contract. And then he will go ahead and collect the rewards. In this case, he's going to get 1 prestige point. Let's just say he is purple. He moves up 1. He's also going to collect 2 coins. So he'll go ahead and collect 2 coins and put them somewhere on his side, like so. And this card will go ahead and get discarded, and then you'll go ahead and draw another card and put it in place like that. Now, let's say, for example, he decided he wanted to try to do this contract. There's a lot of prestige points here. There's a lot of different coins here, but he doesn't have enough cards in his deck in order to try to do it himself. So in this case, he's going to go ahead and try to negotiate with the other players in order to try to help him complete this contract. So what they're mainly going to be doing is you're going to be allocating prestige points, saying, okay, who's going to get what amount of prestige points, and you're going to basically be negotiating with the other players. You're going to do the same there with the coins. You're also going to be allocating who's going to end up rolling these dice. In this case, you're going to have to roll 3 hazard die. The person who is the mission leader is going to choose the order of the players, or where everybody can play cards at the same time if that's what he wants to do. And let's just say he goes ahead and the mission leader starts. He plays, say, a reactor card, which allows him to play 2 more cards. And then little by little as the allies play, and let's just say they end up completing this, you'll go ahead and divvy up everything as you had agreed upon. And you'll go ahead and if anybody played any shields and they had to roll the hazard dice and lose points, they would be able to block those hazard dice playing the shields as well. So then you just simply divvy everything up and then discard the card and then replace it. Now, if it turns out that you can't get anybody to agree to help you with the contract, you can try to pick another contract. And you could try to say, okay, let's try this one. And if again they agree, if there's no agreement, then you can try to do 1 more card, but you're going to have to try to do it by yourself. Now, if it turns out that the contract fails, nothing is going to happen. The only thing that's going to happen is that people are going to end up losing prestige points if they ended up rolling these hazard dice over here. Now, if the player decides, if the mission leader decides he doesn't want to try to do a contract, he has an option to stay on base. If he decides to stay on base, he's going to go ahead and take a credit. He'll draw 2 of those objective cards, and he'll keep 1 of them. And he also has an option to discard 1 of these contracts if he wishes, and then replace it with another contract. So the next phase is going to be the buying phase. And this is where the player who is the mission leader will be able to use his credits to try to buy things. So he could use the credits to try to buy a ship part. And if he ends up buying a ship part, let's just say he buys that, he'll go ahead and place it here on his mat like so. And he can have up to 4. Or he can try to see if he can buy a crew member, and if he decides to do that, he's going to go ahead and place the crew member here on the bottom of his deck and be able to use it for later. Another thing he'll be able to do is he'll be able to pay 1 credit to go ahead and switch out a card in the armory. And after he is done with that, he's going to go ahead and take all of his cards and discard them, and then draw back up to 5 more cards, and then it's going to go on to the next player. And the next player is going to basically do the same thing. They're going to pick a contract, they're going to try to execute it by themselves, or they're going to try to get help. And then they'll have an opportunity to buy things, and then it just keeps going on like this until 1 player ends up getting to the 10 prestige points, and whoever is able to get to the 10 prestige points first is going to win the game. And that, folks, is Moonrakers. So my final thoughts on Moonrakers. Man, this is a great great game. If you're a fan of negotiation games, if you're a fan of deck building games, this game uses both of them, and I think it uses it very well. Fantastic components. I love the coins in this game. I love the way the box is set up to place your cards and place your ships and to place the coins. And I love the way the cards look and the game looks. It has this pale light color to it, but it looks really cool. I've never really seen anything like this before, so it looks completely original to me. I think the gameplay is great. Now, there is a 2-player variant and a solo variant that plays pretty well with this game, but I think with more players, there's just more fun, more negotiation, more strategy, more different types of tactics that you can use, and trying to figure out who gets what, and just all that really makes this for a very good game. Now, this game really isn't that difficult to learn. It didn't take my wife and I long to learn it, so the learning curve, I think, is minimal. It's one of those games, like, once you start playing it and you go through a couple of turns, you get it. But it's a great game, and I definitely recommend it. All right, guys, that is my review of Moonrakers. We'll see you later. Keep on gaming.